Wow, it's another Friday morning. Hello, everybody. Good morning to you. My name is Dotun, Ayodele-Bamisaiye of Dexteritas Professional Corporation. I'm coming to you live from our offices here on Flint Road in Calgary. And I'm excited, as usual, to be here talking Finance Friday. Hey, Mr. Salako, good morning. And the largest man. The largest man. Wow, it's good to see you here. Thank you very much for coming to say hi on Instagram this morning. Really appreciate it. So this is what I do every Friday. Just come here and talk about all things personal finance, all things business, enterprise, basically anything that's impacting your money that comes to my attention. So before I jump into today's topic, just a few things to bring to your attention. First things first, if you have the modest income persuasion and your personal taxes have not been filed for any of the last 10, 15 years and you need support with that, well, my fine friends at the Financial Empowerment Initiative are more than excited to have you, and they will be able to get those tax returns prepared, filed to the CRA so that you can access the benefits that are available to you from the government of Canada. So when I say modest income persuasion, I mean $50,000 and below of family income. So that's that. Let's get that out of the way. Yesterday was another beautiful day. Yes, as Startup Court hosted about 50 professionals and entrepreneurs and business owners at the platform. It was Founders Lounge for the month of July, and it was a fantastic event. We had the most popular black man in Calgary, Mr. Dennis Agbeha, on our panel, speaking about what is available to business owners and entrepreneurs from a funding perspective with regards to BDC. Mr. Angelo Wigwe was also there to talk about what the work that MyTax is doing from a research, from a financing perspective. And the Mo from Futurepreneur was also on hand to share the funding opportunities that they have as well. My friend Bukola Adedeji spoke about her experience securing funding from the Women's Enterprise Organizations of Canada. That was a beautiful one. I was happy to be the one asking those questions. So it was a beautiful night, exciting. I guess you're going to find pictures on LinkedIn sometime in the course of the day, more next week. But that was a good one. That was a highlight for me for this week. And with that, we are going to jump into what we got for today. So I'm always talking about taxes, and I'm sure everybody's wondering why. Why so much emphasis on taxes? Well, I have something I can share with you that explains why. And the reason is because taxes are a huge part of our life expense in this part of the world. Now, take for example this little chart, right? This chart shows you the proportion, how much the average Canadian family pays in taxes as a proportion of their income. That number since the 60s has grown. This is 2015 data by Fraser Institute, by the way. And we know even though the government has reduced the rate at certain brackets, the general impact is that the proportion of your income that goes to taxes is still high. And if you do not have a plan, well, you are going to continue to pay taxes at this clip. So you want to be part of the average, part of the population that brings that average down, not raises it up. So that's I want to preface this conversation with that as a clear background. Now, every time we're talking about tax planning, the reason I'm talking about tax planning is because it has an impact on your finances. Now, last week was beautiful. I can tell you, the 10 days till Sunday was amazing. The Stampede, woo! Stampede was awesome. I had a lot of fun. And last week, Friday, I talked about how, the rodeo is a lot more fun when your personal finances are in order, right? When you have the expenses covered and your loan repayments are going as planned and your investments are growing, as you expect. You're not so bothered paying $20 for a drink, right? That's a very expensive drink, by the way. But you won't be so offended because, hey, the money's there, you're fine. But when everything is out of whack, then you're going to be pinching the pennies and, watching and it's not just the stampede. That's exactly how life is. So why do I talk about taxes so much? Because taxes are a huge part of where your income goes to. Now, why am I so crazy about your income? Because guess what? If you have money, then you have options. You have opportunities, more opportunities available for you to enjoy life. So, with that as a backdrop, right? I want to talk about why you need to, have a clear plan for your taxes. This is the month of July. We're past the halfway mark of July. That's month 7. There are not so many months left in the year, which is why if you don't have a tax plan in place yet, you need to be having a conversation with me or with your accountant so that you are not chasing the scraps in April next year. That's really what this is about. Now, tax planning is not just about April, actually. And I just showed you the reason why. If 35% of every dollar you earn goes to taxes for the entirety of your life. So, for example, when you buy a house, you get into a mortgage. Some people buy really early. They get the opportunity 18, 20, 21. They buy their first place. Some other people don't get into a mortgage until their 40s, right? Now, in those years when you have a mortgage, your house is eating up a good chunk of your income. But that's for a certain phase of your life. Taxes are eating up a good chunk of your income, the entirety of your earning capacity if you are not planning. So think about it this way. You work, you spend 35 years, maybe 40 years working because you started really early and you build this solid nest egg and you have all this money. Guess what? The fact that you're retired does not mean you are exempt from taxes. You still have a liability to tax. The only way you are going to be able to enjoy all that money is if you have a good tax plan in place that helps you optimize the income you will get in your older years from a tax perspective. So with that clarity, you see why it is necessary. I can't emphasize this enough. I can't repeat it enough times. It is necessary for you to have a plan for your tax bill. So now another reason is this. When that plan is in place and you know how and things are happening as planned, things are working out as, it doesn't mean you're not going to have to buy a whole bunch of tires at some point. It doesn't mean that, life will not happen. It just means that when life happens, you have a plan, you have things that you've put in place to ensure that you're safe in the face of life happening, right? So that clarity that you get when you have a financial plan in place, what it does for you is that it frees you up to live the kind of life that you want for yourself. You make your choices as far as your income is concerned. You make your choices as far as your taxes are concerned. You make your choices as far as your savings, retirement is concerned. And that way, okay, I've done what I know to do for my benefit and I'm happy about it. Hi, Miriam. Thanks for saying hello. I see you. Yeah, Miriam is out there in Ohio in the US. Thanks for saying hi. I really do appreciate that. So, what should you do with this information? Why should you do what can you do about this? First things first. take a look at your financial situation and be honest with yourself. Just have an honest with yourself about an honest conversation with yourself about your money and say, okay, do I like where I'm at? If I kept going, if all I did was step on the gas for the next 5 years, will I be happy with where I will arrive at? If the answer to that is anything apart from a resounding yes, then that means you need to back up and revisit your situation. That means you need to take a look at it and say to yourself, yeah, what can I do differently? And one of the things that you can do differently is put together a plan. If you have significant debt, put together a plan to pay it back. If you think that you can earn more to buy you a better lifestyle, then put together a plan for that. I'm not asking you to work more hours. I'm asking you to think about how you can earn more. It may require you to work more hours for some time. It may require you to work more hours for some time, but you shouldn't be working forever. Nobody wants to work forever. That's not the plan. You work, you create a nest egg, and then your nest egg takes care of you. That's the best plan. That's the kind of plan to sign up for. So if you look at your income situation and say, okay, what can I do about this? Now, once you have a clear plan to income, you are looking at your tax situation and you're saying, hey, I don't like where I'm at for taxes, or how can I improve my situation for taxes? If vanilla, you are doing nothing, then know that you are paying too much and you know that there's opportunity for you to save. But if you are making contributions to your retirement plan, if you are putting money away in your TFSA, those are advantaged opportunities already that you're taking, taking. And once you are doing that, that's a first step. There's a lot more. There are lots more steps after that that can continue to improve your situation, and you will go only as far as you want to. Like I said, this is planning. This is your choice. This is you choosing to take your life in your hands and do something with it for your own benefit, not for somebody else's benefit, right? So if you've had that conversation with yourself, then it will make sense to talk to a professional, right? Reach out to somebody like me and say, hey, I want to, have a conversation about my money. I want to be clear on where I'm going, on what I'm. Oh, Miriam, you still can't hear me. Okay, I'll give this another shot. Now, as I'm saying, if you can't, as I'm saying, if you are not clear on, you're looking at your situation and saying, I think I need help, I think I can use somebody's help, then reach out to us, taxplanning.dexteritas.ca, and we'll be able to sit with you and say, okay, these are the options that are available to you from a tax perspective. These are things that you can do to improve and optimize your tax situation, and we'll be happy to do that. And if all you are saying is, hey, you know what, I don't like where my money is at and I don't know where to start from, then you can go to Dotun.Ayodele-Bamisaiye.com. That's my personal website, and jump on my calendar and just book some time to have